Heavy Wrestle Freaks? I'm your host, Alicia Warrington. This guy right here, he's been in the wrestling business for over 19 years with numerous titles worldwide. He's been your NWA World Champion, 01 Heavyweight Champion, and he's run some promotions, including a very successful SoCal promotion, Pacific Coast Wrestling, PCW. This is Josef, aka the Sheik.
What's up?
What's up?
How you doing today?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm
super excited to have you on the show.
I'm excited as well.
I was going to say super excited to have you here, but we're actually in your house today.
We're at my house today.
Wrestling has been your primary job for a long time.
Yes.
A lot of indie wrestlers out here are struggling, working day jobs, but you have been a wrestler, booker, promoter. You've worked every aspect of the business.
Yes.
Would you say that that is the main reason for your successful career?
Yes, because in order to do anything, you have to know how to do every aspect of the job. So when I broke into the business and we were getting $25 paydays, if we were lucky, I would make websites for guys, and I would make promo pictures for guys, and I would design t-shirts for guys, and I didn't know how to do any of that stuff. I just figured it out as I went along, and I would put together promo tapes when we sent VHS tapes and all types of stuff. So programs, everything. I just kind of figured out how to make money and make my way as I was spending so much time and putting so much effort into this thing that I ended up doing everything that you can possibly do, which gave me all the knowledge that I needed to do what I'm doing now.
In Pro Wrestling Fusion, you worked as Sheik Ali Azad.
That was the very first inclination of that gimmick, the very first name. It was very short-lived.
Okay, I was going to say you didn't use it long, and some fans were upset when you started using the Sheik gimmick after the original Sheik, but it was actually Sabu who encouraged you to drop Ali Azad and use the Sheik.
That's correct. Just to backtrack a little bit, what had happened was I was in a tag team that was pretty successful regionally. We got sent to Puerto Rico, which was a territory at the time. We were working 5 nights a week. And my partner decided to go to MMA and decided to leave the wrestling business. So I was like, what am I going to do?
Right.
We were a main event tag team, and I was wondering, how am I going to stay in the main event and continue to make main event money and continue to do main event things if I was just the small guy in the tag team, because my partner was 345 pounds. I was big by default. So I did this show in Tampa, and a wrestler by the name of Steve Madison, who's a great friend of mine, was going to Japan at the time, and Hustle was a company that was super over at the time. It was really different, and they were having established wrestlers with completely different gimmicks. So at the same time my partner was deciding to leave, I had a small little spot to try this new thing, and I tried out this Sheik gimmick, and I tried it with Sheik Ali Azad. It got over, which was awesome, and it was super comfortable. And about a week or two later, I was on a show with Sabu, and I went to Sabu and I told him, hey man, maybe a month or two, something like that, I can't remember. And I said, hey man, I'm doing this deal. First of all, hopefully you don't mind. Is it cool if I just do the Sheik? And he gave me his blessing, told me to do what I dig, and it really, really catapulted me.
I met Sabu one time. He had his promo pics for sale, and he's like, I'll give you one. Which one do you want? And I was kind of nervous, so I was just like, this one. He goes, it's the worst one, right? He's like, why do you want that one?
I mean, that one.
I was like, well, whatever one you want to give me.
How about you pick?
Throughout history, ethnic, foreign characters get a lot of heat from the wrestling crowds.
Yes.
Iron Sheik, Sergeant Slaughter turned heel. The Russians, they've all had their lives threatened.
We were able to do that in wrestling in wrestling of old. Today, it's not so cool.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's always been a really dangerous gimmick, but it is a different climate. So what has your experience been with it?
Wrestling's a strange business, and
I know you've been spit on and urine thrown at you and all that fun stuff.
We've been spit on and things thrown on me. I've been attacked multiple times, and we look at these things for some crazy reason as a badge of honor. Oh man, I was attacked tonight. Yeah. Really silly.
Really got heat.
Yeah, really silly business. Funny story, I was wrestling Carlito, Caribbean Cool,
Yeah.
and this was post WWE run for him. And we were in Brownsville, Texas, which is a border town, and let's just say that it was really, really heated.
Yeah.
And people did not like me that night. And we went to the outside, and I was on top of Carlito, and I'm giving him the business. And as we're going back, the fans just start to escalate a little too much, so I let Carly get back over on me. Carly grabs me in a headlock, takes me, and I see this guy beelining for me. And I'm like, this guy's gonna hit me. And he was probably 70, you know, and I'm like,
Old guy.
How hard can it hurt,
Yeah.
right? You know, not a big deal. Again, stupid business. So I'm sitting there and I'm watching him get closer and closer and closer, and he just, boom, right in the face. But he had a ring on. So he split me wide open.
Oh, no.
And Carlito says, you want me to let you go so you can beat him up? I'm like, absolutely not. Take me back in the ring. Because I knew if I jumped on him, the whole crowd...
Everybody's going to get you.
Exactly. It's all fun and games, but it gets real quick.
Being a musician, I've had some things thrown at me as well,
I'm
but
sure.
I'm sure not in that same capacity. But
I did a Tesco Fest. I did the Tesco Fest for Tesco via the Meatmen. Very politically incorrect, but if you know Tesco, he is so liberal and so hilarious and so awesome, but his music is a mirror of idiots. He has a song called Camel Jockeys Suck, so he said, wouldn't it be cool if you came or cut a promo and said, you know, you can't play that song at this festival. So I cut a wrestling promo, they played it, they played my music, I came through the crowd, and I cut this crazy heel promo in Detroit, Michigan, in a punk rock show, and I called them all whatever and posers. And oh man, well, the girl I was with, who was playing my wife at the time, the fans just engulfed her and choked her, and I threw a fireball at them, and it was insane. But it's on YouTube if you ever get a chance.
I never really meet meet enough people that share in the same love for my favorite band, Clutch.
Wait a minute. It's my favorite band.
It's
Clutch.
my favorite.
It's totally my favorite band.
Okay. Looking at your house, it might be your favorite band.
I might win, yeah, okay.
You guys can't see his house. Clutch everywhere. Okay?
Yeah.
Which is not a bad thing.
Not a bad thing.
I'm impressed.
In a very tasteful way.
Very tasteful.
Where it's not like a dorm room.
No. This is classy. This is upscale stuff. This is upscale fandom. I've been a fan of Clutch since '93, Transnational Speedway.
92.
All right,
92.
So there you go. He's got a year on it. All right. He's older.
I am.
Do you guys know Clutch? Do you know who we're talking about?
So this is the Earth Rocker snare drum, one of 5, and this particular one is number 3. And the proceeds for this went to the St. Jude's Children's Cancer Fund. So my fandom hopefully helped out some kids.
You have traveled far and wide to see Clutch.
I have.
I've seen them about 12 times. You've seen them that many times on one tour alone.
Yeah. I'm kind of nuts. Yeah,
So how did the obsession start, and can we be friends?
We could totally be friends. I already feel it. And the obsession started, I used to go to the record store every single day, almost, definitely weekly, and I knew everything that was in the metal section. I saw this tape, Passive Restraints, and I was like, what is that? So I was in a bad neighborhood, so you used to have to get the lady from behind the counter to unlock it, and then you could look at the tape. She'd sit there staring at you, and you're like, all right, are you going to buy it and give you the hard sell? Well, it was $4.99, and I was like, I'm going to buy this. Took it home, played it, I was hooked. Saw them on Beavis and Butthead, where they played a Shogun named Marcus, and I was like, oh my god, they have a video, and they started coming. I started going to all the shows, and I met my wife in 2001. She knew of the band.
I was going to say, did you guys meet at a show?
No, we actually met in Puerto Rico. She was on vacation with a bunch of flight attendants, and 9/11 happened. So she got stuck there, and she found me. And it's been love ever since. Yeah, lucky her. So, and you know, I've taken her all over the world to see Clutch, so.
I was really surprised to hear that you are a vinyl record broker. I checked out your website, War of Sound, and saw some more of my favorites on there. Singer of Acid Bath, Dax Riggs, and Misfits, Shooter Jennings. You have a lot of really cool things. What would you say is your most treasured record in your personal collection?
Wow. I would say Clutch self-titled 95. Just because it's the Clutch record and I have the original. There's many bootlegs out there that are all terrible. The original is awesome. Super thin because
I have
back
the tape.
then, well, there you go. Beyond that, I would say right at a close second is the original 1000 of Sex Pistols, never mind the Bollocks, because A, it's super cool, but B, because it's one of the originals, it's in near mint condition, and all those records got burned.
You have really great music taste.
Thank you.
And I think
you, obviously, if you think I do, then obviously you do.
Thank you. I do. It's true.
It's true.
Well, we've even seen you in a Murder Junkie shirt. Yeah.
Now, their music is terrible. but it's all attitude. It's all attitude.
Violence,
yes,
right?
Yes. I'm not to scare you ladies, but I'm a bit of a mark for Charles Manson.
I'm not scared by much.
Yeah, super.
And I always have a knife.
Yeah. Which is definitely the scariest way to kill somebody. But anyway, I digress. But so that's more of a Manson shirt.
I'm a death metal singer. I'm not scared of that stuff. As if you're not talented enough, I have to tell you guys that he's also an awesome graphic designer. Yeah?
I'm okay.
He's awesome.
I've got a lot of friends that are much better.
But you have done some really cool stuff. You've done artwork for Smashing Pumpkins.
Yes.
Life of Agony's Mina Caputo.
I have.
My friend Nicole was in the Smashing Pumpkins for like 4 years.
That's correct. I know her.
She told me that she met you and that you actually did the tour merch for the Oceana album. Yeah.
That's correct. I did do that. And funny story about Nicole is we're in the green room at Rock on the Range. Mm-hmm. And that was the time where we officially met Clutch that day. But the Sword had come in and gave them a special record. And they gave all the Pumpkins the record. And I'm like, wait a minute. I like that record. And it was sunflower vinyl. It was super gorgeous. And Mikey, the drummer, was like, you like the Sword? And Nicole was sitting with the record and she was leaning on it. And it was like, I don't want to expose her for.
She would. I totally know this about her.
She was leaning on the record.
She was ruining the record.
It was hurting my heart. And Mikey had seen the way I had reacted, and he said, "Do you like the Sword?" And I said, "Yeah, and I want that record." And he goes, "Okay." So we made a phone call, and that was the same day I met the Sword, and Kyle from the Sword, who is super awesome, presented me with the record, and I've got one of my own now. But if you see that record, if you ever see Nicole, I think you should take that record because I'm sure you would probably like it.
It's probably all bent up now.
It's probably all bent up. It was bent up that night.
We will get back to wrestling before these people start yelling about it.
I was in a tag team called the Market Crashers. That was my first tag team. My name was
NASDAQ.
NASDAQ, man. NASDAQ and Dow Jones. Two guys, briefcases, It was easily identifiable, and that's kind of what got the gimmick over. I started getting a little tired. Of this briefcase, and it's not me. We decided to go a little more street, so we decided to turn Market Crashers into Black Market. And then Joey Machete.
That sounds cooler.
Yeah, it was cooler, and my partner's Irish, so he was Sean Murphy. So it had a bit of a street flair to it.
How old were you when you started training?
Wow. I can't remember. I was in my early 20s. When I went into the locker room back then, there was 40, 50-year-old guys in there. I was a kid, but I was early 20s, maybe 22, something like that. And then I turned around and blinked, and I was an old man. I was the old guy in there. Now the kids are coming in, and they're 18, 19, and I'm like, I'll say something as it comes out of my mouth. I'll be like, wow, I sound old. Oh my God. 450, who Mr. 450, the Mecha Wolf, a buddy of mine for a long, long time, who is not a young guy. He's like, I used to watch you on TV when I was a kid. And because Puerto Rico had really strong television. And I'm like, come on, man. You're old ass man too. Like, come on. This is ridiculous. What does that make me?
Recently had Brody King on the show, who's a member of your Warbeast stable in PCW.
He is.
He said that he was recruited by you for Warbeast.
He was.
How did the whole thing come about, and how did you connect with Kevin Sullivan?
Well, Kevin I've known for a long, long time. Kevin is He's a huge influence on me. He's been a great mentor to me for years. And
is Kevin a psycho, or does he just really play it well?
Oh, Kevin really plays it well. He's a genius, a psycho. Well, we're all psychos in
we are.
He's somebody that really has taken me under his wing. I mean, let's be real. Kevin beat Vince McMahon for like 80-something, 90 weeks in a row. For somebody who was able to accomplish something like that, you want to listen to a guy like that. So he's taught me a lot. PCW, I am the booker. Mm-hmm. Kevin lets me fall on my face, but Kevin is also a lifeline. You know, hey man, this is going on. Mostly a sounding board. But I always am very, very careful not to use him as a crutch, mm-hmm. you know, so I can learn and I can fall on my face on my own. We're very, very appreciative to have him, you know, in our fold, in our network.
Yeah, you guys have a few of the legends there working with you, like Terry Funk.
Come on. Yeah. I mean, if you're talking about the Mount Rushmore of professional wrestling and you don't put Terry Funk on there, you don't know what you're talking about.
Your characters are all pretty aggressive, dark.
Yes.
Warbeast dabbles in the world of the occult. How much of your personality is in your characters?
The Josef character is just so me. Like I'm not, you know, it's me amplified. You know, they always say that, and I felt like for years the Sheik, I had to kind of, okay, we got to do this again tonight, you know. Mm-hmm. And with this character, it's just so much more natural. It just feels so much better. I wish it didn't take me all the way because I'm in the twilight of my career.
Right.
And I wish it didn't take me this long to do it. But the Sheik was a vehicle for me for many years, and it was a safe thing for me where it would get over all the time, and it got me where I needed to go, and it kept, you know, bread on the table. It kept me working, so it was what I needed, and this is fun. A lot of the promos, they're rhymey, and they have Manson-esque, you know, I watch hours and hours of footage of Manson at his most lucid and at his most crazy, and then all these brilliant song lyricists that, you know, like the Neil Fallons, the Dax Riggs, and on and on and on, and yeah, I take all that and embody, and whatever's cool to me, I just kind of pop it all together and try to make something original.
Marlene, who works behind the scenes here, you guys never see her, but she is a huge PCW fan. I don't think she's ever missed an event. You started PCW with your business partner, Mike.
Yes.
Is that right? And your first show that you put on was like January 2016, which not that long ago, but still you're in the top 3% of like all US indie promos. What is it that sets PCW apart from the other promotions?
We really care about the fan experience. Mike is a good businessman, and I know professional wrestling. Mike does all the business, I do all the pro wrestling. We don't get in each other's lane, and I've never had a partnership like that in wrestling where the shoe didn't drop. Well, now I want to book it all, you know, or nothing like that. So this is, it's really, really cool, and that's why it works, because we both have a great tool belt of strengths and tools, and we utilize them, and we let the other one do their thing. We're trying to build an atmosphere of kind people that look out for each other, that police each other, and just have a good time.
You actually have a huge show coming up this week.
We do.
Demonized?
Demonized. Pretty cool name, what'd you say?
Sounds pretty metal. Sounds pretty heavy to me.
Pretty metal. We've got Jay White from New Zealand, a New Japan professional wrestler coming. We've got the legend Terry Funk. What? We've got Flip Gordon from Ring of Honor. We've got Douglas James, who's a SoCal sensation. We've got the Sandman hardcore item. We've got Warbeast in the house. You've got Kevin Sullivan. You've got the amazing Fatu. You've got Sami Callihan. Ohio is for Killers.
That is
Pentagon.
stacked.
Daga and Phoenix, Alexander Hammerstone, the winner of Young Guns. I mean,
It's a pretty stacked card. I mean, what more do you want? And a Terry Funk seminar to top it off. Is that in the beginning of the day? You have that earlier?
That's going to be in the beginning of the day for trained wrestlers. If you can't get to this seminar, you're insane. I mean, this man can literally shave so many steps off of your journey to the top. It's
Absolutely.
ridiculous. Somebody who's been there in every single company at the highest level. WCW, ECW, WWF, All Japan, New Japan. Legend.
Why do we not see any women on the PCW roster?
That's a good question. We tried to, we did a women's match one time where WOW sponsored it.
I was going to say for the WOW.
For
title
WOW.
or something, was it?
Yeah. It was for the WOW title, correct. When we initially started, we didn't have any aspirations to be a women's company. We thought there's female-only companies, there's men-only companies. We didn't get a women's title. We never thought we'd have women's wrestling, just like New Japan, just like other companies. Now, would we ever showcase women's wrestling? It depends. We might do it with Sabotage. We might do it with WOW again. We could do it with Shine. But I don't think PCW would ever get a women's title and have a full division.
You perform great as a heel.
Thank you.
Don't let all this smiling and laughing fool you. He has been suspended for hitting fans on the head with chairs. All right?
Yeah, for real and for shoot. Yeah.
Not all heels can evoke the emotions that you do. So what are these newer wrestlers doing wrong, and what are they not understanding about being a true heel?
That's a great question. First of all, you have to believe it. I mean, if I don't believe it, how am I going to expect them to believe it? To understand what goes on in my head from being 19 years in the business, seeing what's happening now, not that it's good, bad, just different. The one thing that I notice is a lot of wrestlers that are heels, they work in the sense of, hey, we're all in on the joke. But I was brought up where mystique was everything. Mm-hmm. I was in Puerto Rico with Abdullah the Butcher. You didn't see Abdullah the Butcher talking to the fans. You didn't see Abdullah the Butcher. I wouldn't have done this, maybe 10 years ago. I mean, kayfabe's been broke a long time. But I mean, the mystique of professional wrestling, just like she said about me not signing posters. Why am I going to give you 5 seconds to get me? Why am I going to give you 5 seconds to feel like you know me? Mm-hmm. Why am I going to give you 5 seconds to feel like, oh, he's not that bad of a guy, he's my friend? Then I lose all my mystique.
Abdullah the Butcher or Terry Funk?
Oh, Terry Funk.
Most bizarre place you've been in the world?
Fort Pierce, Florida.
Favorite movie?
Boogie Nights.
Really?
Yeah.
Elephant Riders or Beale Street to Oblivion?
Elephant Riders.
Would you rather wrestle a bear or the man-beast Rhino?
Rhino.
Black Flag gets into a fight with the Meat Men. Who's walking out alive?
The Meat Men.
Greatest heel of all time?
I guess it would have to be the original Sheik.
Steak or veggie burger?
Well, veggie burgers are terrible, and I don't like... Now, if you're going to say steak or veggie, this week I'll go veggie.
Okay.
But not veggie burger.
Tofu?
Ugh.
Anything you want to say before we close it up?
If you haven't already, go see Clutch Live. They're awesome. And support those guys and come to a...
He wasn't even promoting himself. He's still promoting Clutch.
Listen, I love this man. PCW. PCW is up and coming. We're trying to do something completely different, and we're trying to lead independent professional wrestling. You can